If we would just wake up, we will realize this. We can't see the world saved. It is useless to raise our flag, and there is no one ready to respond to God's call. It would be a lie to say that God has a purpose for this generation of Salvationists. There is nothing worth fighting for. I refuse to believe that if we are to better the future, we must disturb the present. I am convinced of this. Listen when I say, once upon a time, the army was raised up by God, and the founder stated that the greatness of a man's power is the measure of his surrender. But this will not be true on my watch. My generation only wants to be entertained. We are told in 40 years the Salvation Army will be dead. What's in it for me has replaced I will go and answer to God's call. I say that the Salvation Army is dead today. That we are apathetic and self-absorbed, we are out of touch with our generation. It is foolish to presume that God still has a purpose for the Salvation Army, that God will breathe new life into this generation. I believe it is too late. I cannot say sound the battle cry, and we will stay in this state of slumber unless we turn our world upside down. Sound the battle cry. I cannot say it's too late. I believe that God will breathe new life into this generation. God still has a purpose for the Salvation Army. It is foolish to presume that we are out of touch with our generation, that we are apathetic and self-absorbed, that the Salvation Army is dead today. I say, in answer to God's call, I will go, has replaced what's in it for me. In 40 years, the Salvation Army will be dead, we are told. My generation only wants to be entertained. But this will not be true on my watch. The greatness of a man's power is the measure of his surrender. And the founder stated that the army was raised up by God once upon a time. Listen when I say, I am convinced of this. If we are to better the future, we must disturb the present. I refuse to believe that there is nothing worth fighting for. God has a purpose for this generation of Salvationists. It would be a lie to say that there was no one ready to respond to God's call. It is useless to raise our flag, and we can't see the world saved. We will realize this if we would just wake up.